It's Wednesday, December 23rd. My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blancolirio channel, and Congress has just passed the latest COVID-19 relief bill. Included in this bill is $15 billion for U.S. airlines, and here's what this means to the airline industry. This latest stimulus package for the airlines effectively extends the care package all the way out to March 31st. So anybody who is furloughed or anybody who is going to be furloughed is now going to return to the payrolls and continue to be employed by their airlines until March 31st. What this means to the airlines is a tremendous savings in training costs. As we've discussed earlier in previous updates on this channel, the airline industry is a heavily unionized industry. And everybody is ranked by seniority order. There's only one thing that matters in the airlines, and that is your date of hire, the date you were hired and how old you were on that date. So, because it's a unionized system of seniority, you cannot furlough by equipment. In other words, if you need to lose a few less A320 pilots versus 777 pilots, you can't just pick out and choose who you want to furlough. You just got to furlough strictly by seniority, and that creates a huge cascading training event. As you furlough the most junior people off the most junior equipment, now this is the pilots we're talking about, who can only be qualified to fly one aircraft at a time. You furlough those most junior pilots off the most junior equipment, that starts a cascading event as everybody from the very top of the seniority list, including the most senior 777 captain, the most junior 777 captain has to bump back down the ladder and backfill for all those people that were furloughed, creating a huge cascading training event. So now, as far as the pilots are concerned, the airlines only need to keep those pilots that are on the payroll current, and that means 3 landings every 90 days, and that's typically done in the simulator, and that can be done in about an hour. So congratulations to everybody in the airline industry. You're back on the payroll until March 31st, but as you can tell in this industry, you never can tell whether you're going to go out on a medical or get furloughed or something's going to happen. So I highly suggest you get a second gig going and keep and plan accordingly financially for these kind of interruptions during your airline career. In other breaking news, the medical folks at the FAA have approved the vaccine for the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines. So, for pilots and aircrew, for pilots and air traffic control folks that are required to have a Class 1 or Class 2 or Class 3 medical through the FAA, you are now approved to get that vaccine. You don't have to report it to the FAA, but you do need to wait 48 hours after you take the vaccine before you go back on the schedule or before you go back to flying to make sure you don't have any sort of reactions. These are the only 2 vaccines approved by the FAA at this time. Now, as far as getting the vaccine as a frontline pilot, well, we're going to have to get in line and get prioritized along with everybody else. So it remains to be seen how much demand there will be for air travel in the future here, even with the vaccine. Currently, the TSA numbers are fluctuating between 30 to 50% of pre-COVID travel numbers. So will the demand return to pre-COVID levels once this pandemic is behind us? Or will this represent a fundamental shift in the entire airline industry? Yesterday, Pete and I had a great adventure to Cameron Park, California, Vultures Row Aviation, where we got to check up on the very rare birdcage Corsair restoration that's going on down there. So stay tuned for an update on that very soon. Was it cool?
Mm-hmm. Kablamo!
Was that Daddy's landing?
Yeah, it was. It was very kablamo-ish.
Are you kidding? That was the smoothest landing you've ever seen. So from the entire staff and crew here at the Blancolirio Global Headquarters, thank you so much for your support of this channel this year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and thanks especially to the folks on Patreon that make this content possible. See you here.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Say bye-bye, Chewie.
Poor dog.